Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. Whew, today has been a tumultuous day today, but we'll bring you guys another live where we are speaking to you guys about Married at First Sight. We're going to be talking about the finale, and also a little bit as well about the D-Day decisions. So there were some surprises, we could say, specifically Miles and Karen for me, because I was on a neck all season, and I was surprised my boy caved in. But you know what? These things do happen. You got to make your choices, live in it, and accept it. So, guys, if you are new to the channel, please, as always, like, share, and subscribe. And I'm here with two great guests. They've been with us all season. You lot have been watching and you've been seeing. I'm here with This Is Marriage UK, and I am Sophie. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what they do and where we can find them as well. Go for it, guys.
Hi, I am Juanita. I'm the other half of This Is Marriage UK. This Is Marriage is a online platform. We're on Instagram and we're on YouTube. And before COVID, we would be right in your local church hall or community center or office delivering some kind of workshop about how to maintain marriages and how to maintain yourself in singleness and even those who are divorced. We like to have honest, open, and transparent conversations. And you should join us at This Is Marriage UK on Instagram for more. Thank you for having us, Kojo. I say us because I am him and he is me.
Love that. Okay. So I am Sophie Hannah. As it says, I'm Sophie Hannah. I am a content creator, and I'm doing various things at the moment. You can find me on I Am Sophie Hannah on YouTube. You can also find me on I Am Sophie Hannah on Instagram. Please like, follow, share, subscribe. I'm trying to build my numbers and hit my goals this year, so I'd love for you to help me in doing that. In the content that I create, I do a weekly show, a weekly online show talking about current affairs, pop culture, and everything in between, and that's called Ethnically Speaking. So you can type that in and see that on YouTube. I also do interviews with ethnic women. I also do film reviews. There's a lot going on, but be sure to follow me on I Am Sophie Hannah to see what I'm about.
Nice.
Beautiful. Love that. So today, obviously, we're talking about the reunion and D-Day. There's a lot to get through. In fact, there's a lot that happened in those two episodes. I guess we can kick it off with D-Day. Were there any surprises in terms of the couples that decided to stay or to split for you guys?
Let me get my notes.
It's too much for me, guys. I think for me, the only surprise was Miles and Karen. I'm gonna go straight there. That was the only surprise to me, because I think that was the only couple where I was like, I'm really not sure what is going to happen. I don't know if they're gonna quit. I don't know if they're gonna stick. And they stuck. They stuck. It makes me think that maybe we weren't seeing everything that was going on in the show, because I think from what we had seen, it seemed like he had that Miles had reached his limit. And that they weren't together anymore. But when they chose each other, I was like, all right. But when I saw the reunion show, I was happy to see that they're making it work and that there's something there. So I'm all for happy endings, Kojo, even though you're not.
Listen, I'm the same as you, so I was like, Miles and Karen, I couldn't put my money on it. Do you know what I mean? Everybody else I was quite sure about, but them guys, I was like, I don't know. But I learned some lessons through Miles and Karen. Do you know what I mean? There was lessons to be learned. And I think one of the lessons is that people work it out in their own time and in their own flaming way. Do you know what I mean? Karen, she worked it out. Kojo, she totally worked it out. She had a different pace. So people have a different pace at bonding. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, even though she was married to this man, for her, it was still the getting to know stage. So she couldn't move out of that phase yet until specific things had moved on a chessboard for her. So it was to learn some lessons from Karen. Was like, you know what? Sometimes love takes time, and sometimes love requires something to be moved in order for you to move forward. So I was shocked by what they had done, but I could see that a level of trust had been built in that time that we didn't see. And maybe it's about editing again, but they were building a level of trust. And I think that they're capable of sticking it out. Plus, they signed that lease. So you got to see it out, mate.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, like with those two, I just feel that we always knew that they had what it took. We always thought like, and as Miles said, I can understand why the professionals put me together with Karen. That's what he said. And I think as the show went on, we definitely saw that. But some things that I saw online, I don't even know if I want Kojo to answer this because you are just not a cheerleader for Karen. But some people were saying, do you think after she kind of the filming starts and she saw the reaction that Miles was getting in terms of, you know, actually he's a catch and a lot of women want him, it made her reevaluate what she had? Do you think that could be the case?
I think that is the case. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I agree. I think they got to a place of working some stuff out. Am I convinced? I'm not convinced.
Wow.
I'm not convinced at all. And do you know what it is? It's some of the things that even Karen herself was saying. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's fully happy with the decision she's made. I don't know if that's her decision or her mum's decision. That's what I feel. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna because when she got to the D-Day, right? Listen, her mum, you know, can apply some neck pressure just to make sure she's making the right choice. Because at the D-Day, yeah, when Miles was saying why he felt like he wasn't gonna go forward, I just saw the cat come out of Karen, and she just went. Well, I mean, it's not like we're not in the best of places. Yeah, I know that already. Like, I never said that kind of thing. I was like, whoa! I was like, Karen, he's only explaining his side of things. And so when I saw it, I was like, I don't know if she's fully happy with the D-Day decision she made. I think she's doing what we call, you know, make your bed and lie in it. But that's just my opinion. Go on, ladies. You can discuss and tell me something different.
Look, Kojo, I think you need to take the L on this one. You need to take the L on this one and be like, I got it wrong. You know what? I thought that Karen's motives weren't all really there, but maybe she wasn't painted in the best light. But these are two people who found each other on the show. Like, she didn't need to stick it in once the cameras had ended. Like, she had been on the show, not giving him any, not being warm, not being physical. She obviously had no problem in exhibiting that sort of behavior because she said she needed time. So when the camera stopped rolling, what was her incentive to stay apart from the fact that she wants to stay with him?
The door was wide open. That's so saying.
Wide,
the door was open, man. She could have bolted.
Open. And I feel like she's getting a lot of stick. And it seems now, even when they were talking on the couch at the reunion, they would laugh about things, and she would like fall into him, and she was laughing, and there's a physical closeness there. He's obviously now getting to the full pleasures of being married. 100% Miles is getting that, which is for him, I think, a cementing of to be in this relationship. But I think they got a lot of good stuff there.
Come on, Kojo. Come on.
Just admit it. Just free yourself.
I can't. Okay. You know what? Okay, there's a scene. Yeah, there's a scene at the very end of the show where Miles says his needs are still not being met in the marriage. Yeah, in the actual reunion, they've taken it out. It's not there. So the very scene at the end where, if you watched it at the very end, Miles says Karen never met my needs even when the cameras are off. That gets completely eradicated in the actual reunion. They never met. They never showed that clip again.
So where did you see that clip? I didn't see that.
That's at the end of the show. At the end of the show of the D-Day. I'm telling you, they showed that as a preview for the next show. But when you see the reunion, it's not there at all. I mean, completely wiped. Not even like you've taken it out of context, whatever. It's completely gone. And I think that's purposely done. I'm just going to say it straight.
Because
I
I
don't
thought
know.
he
conspiracy
said,
theory.
I thought he said that his needs were being met, and he rubbed their leg as he
Oh
said
no, on
it.
the show. See, on the show there, he says his needs. He didn't say his. He said our needs. So we don't know if his needs are being met.
Look,
We don't know
Kojo.
for sure.
Or he's saying that collectively our needs are
Yeah,
being met.
together we're doing
He's
this
saying
thing together.
together. Like, it's not about mine or hers. Together in this marriage, our needs are both being met.
Bruv, raise up the foot, man. Raise the foot
I
off the
mean,
woman's head.
You need to let
can't,
Karen.
man. There's just
You need
too
to
many
let
things,
Karen loose.
inconsistencies.
You need to let Karen loose. I'm sorry.
Let her loose, man.
There's too many,
Yeah.
too many inconsistencies there. You know what I mean? I mean,
No.
I don't know. I mean, let me let her live. You know what?
Let her live, man.
Let me let her live, innit? Let
Especially
me
in
let
that
her
orange
live a
dress.
little bit. You know
Let
what I'm
her
saying?
live.
You know, especially, I mean, she was banging.
Yeah, she was.
She was looking fine.
Yes.
She was looking fine. So I can understand why Miles said yes. But you know, I just felt there was a. I mean, to be honest, I mean, okay? Aside the little teeny touches, did he do these things there? Okay, ladies, let me ask you a raw question.
Mhm.
Have you ever dated a guy that you weren't 100% sure, but still,
Yeah.
you might have been a bit more physical. You didn't necessarily go anything crazy, but you would have still showed some exhibits of, let's say, you know, some relationship behavior. So I think it can be feigned. I don't know. What about you, ladies? Could you do it?
I wouldn't be with somebody that was making me cringe. Do you know what I mean? It just wouldn't work. My body language is just so out there that I couldn't do it. So I would have to have some kind of liking for you. Do you know what I mean? That would be important. So for me, when I used to observe Karen and think, why can't you stay in that hug? Or, you know, what is it that you know, he's not even allowed to kiss your cheek. He's just about to get your forehead. Is it that he's making you cringe?
Mhm.
Then if he's making me cringe, then we wouldn't be living in an apartment together. Do you see what I mean? It would be like,
Yeah.
this is not going to work for me. I can't move from cringe to satisfied very quickly. It's just like, if you make me cringe, and you're in the cringe zone, and that's that.
Yeah.
So I don't know how she did it. If that was the case, then
Yeah,
that's a big transition.
I think that
Go on,
I've been in that situation, but it was years ago. Like, literally when I first, just before going into my 20s, I was like 19. I dated this guy for like 6 weeks. It wasn't very long, but I liked him. Like, we got along, but when we started going out together, it was just like, I'm not interested in this guy. Yeah, it wasn't, I was like, and I didn't want him to touch me, and it was just very uncomfortable. Like, the hug, and I was just like, all right, thanks. And that taught me very early on, like, unless you're fully in it with them, unless you like them and you want to be with them, just don't go there, because it's not nice, and it's not what it does to the other person. I think Karen is too old and too grown and she made the man wait 4 months already. If she didn't want to be there, why would she be? Like, if I wasn't interested and I made you wait 4 months, obviously I'm like, I can just walk away from this, because nothing is really holding me here. Like, I'm not giving him any mixed signals. So no, she's not there because it's convenient.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so what made her change her mind? Because
I don't know. I think Karen.
What do you think made Karen change her mind?
I think Karen really had a time to reflect. I think she was reflecting, and we didn't get to see that reflection. And the reflection maybe considered, how old am I? What do I want in the future? The reflection may have also included, actually, this guy's all right. And so he starts looking different to her. When they went through a very stressful period together. The whole planet has gone through this stressful period of the civil unrest in America and also COVID.
Yeah.
But doing that in an early part of the marriage can either pull you together or pull you apart. So she could see his love for his people. She could see his love for his people even before the civil unrest. Because if you notice on a lot of his clothing and in his house, there was a lot about Black power and Black empowerment. So I feel that kind of grew her love for him, that she saw like this kind of man in him. So I think all of that meant that she was able to build. She She was just building and building. But we didn't like the pace that she was cementing.
I hear that.
Kojo, you were just wrong putting up this comment. From God Loves Control about Karen's mama had a talk with her. To be honest, taking something from that. I agree that she probably did speak to some of the people in her life, and they were like, "He's a good guy."
Yeah.
And if there's anything, as I said on last week's show, if you feel like there could be something here, everyone should just stay in that marriage at least for a couple more weeks or months or whatever until it's 100% sure. Like, you lose nothing because you're already married. So I think she did talk to some of the people in her life and just really evaluate what it is that, as Whitney said, what she wants in a guy. And I think from the reunion show, she had said something about him being honest with her, and she knows that she can talk to him. I think she started to appreciate the things that she thought were weaknesses before.
Yes.
And to see actually, I think she's starting to appreciate those things and see that those are good things. And I guess the thing that I had an issue with is that she now feels like he put her in her place. I don't know, when she was just like, well, it feels like when he told me he wasn't comfortable with what I was doing and that he wasn't happy, that's when he kind of like stepped up.
Yeah.
In her opinion, as a man. She never said that, but that's the sort of feeling I think that she was giving out. So it seems like she got what she needed in that sense, but that makes me feel a bit uncomfortable because it still plays with her idea of what it means to be a man. But I think she just really considered her life, what people thought around her, and was like, why would I let a good guy go?
So, but don't you think also that she was basically saying, let me just see the real you, cheesed off or not? Like, just show me. If you're vexed with me, don't pander, don't pussyfoot around me, don't walk on eggshell. Just let me know, like, your behavior is driving me mad. I can't read you. I don't understand you. I want to know what this is about. And so when he finally did that, then she was thinking, phew, I'm getting the complete man now. Because I wouldn't want to be surprised with a guy who's constantly like, yeah, how are you, my darling? Here's flowers, here's this. I agree with everything you're saying, and I'm just, appeasing you. And then when the camera shut down, he's kicking off. Just show me from the jump. You know what I mean? So I think she was looking for that. Like, just show me, like, wrangle with me. Show me some opposition. So I know who this complete man is, that he's not just this, I'm a good guy and I'm here to meet your needs, and I'm not going to argue, and I'm not going to be upset when you sit on the arm of the chair and stuff like that. Challenge me. And I think in some ways she was doing that, and she got that, and that helped her decision.
I think that's why COVID was so important for those two, because it kind of threw him, from what we could see anyway on the show, into his place. He wasn't working. He was at home. He wasn't feeling great. And he was kind of like, I'm not really going to put up with Karen at the moment. Like, he was kind of like, that's when he started to feel, she's not supporting me. She's not giving me what I need. And he much more sat in that feeling. So then she was like, I can feel him pulling away and I don't like it. And she had to realize, actually, you are invested to a certain level. And you do realize that you're liking the way that he treats you as a woman. And now that he's stepping back a bit, you're beginning to realize that, he's a good guy. So it took a lot. COVID helped her out. 100%. If they'd have made the decision before COVID, I think he would have walked away.
Yeah, definitely.
I hear you. I can't say anything else. You know what I mean? I've got to leave them now. They decided to stick together. And they look happy on Instagram. So as far as I'm concerned, they've cemented it. What can we say? What more can we say? They've made it this far. Good luck, and God bless them. That's what I can say to them. You can tell I'm salty in it. Good luck, and God bless them.
Yes.
I thought my boys get hurt. That's what I'm saying. So we'll leave Karen and Miles behind, and we'll talk a little bit about Christina and Henry, because I think personally, all right, this one was different. I've seen Henry come out a little bit of his shell, but this one, he was saucy. What did you guys think about Mr. Savage?
He was savage. I was disappointed in him, but I could see how that was. I could see how that was building, you know, because on the
Yeah.
D-Day, she kept saying, but he's not gay. Like she was putting it in our psyche. She just kept repeating it and repeating it, repeating it. And he was getting cheesed off and cheesed off and cheesed off. And she wouldn't leave it. And so I think by the time the reunion show came, he was like, you gave it to me, I'm going to dump it all. And he dumped the whole toilet on her head. It was horrible. It was horrible to see. It was horrible what came out. I didn't feel like it needed to come out. Yeah, I didn't think he needed to say what he said about who she was dealing with for the past 5 years and how toxic it was. And they used to do toxic things to each other. I think stuff like that was a personal conversation between them. And I lost respect for Henry right then. I just thought you didn't need to do that, mate.
I agree with you in saying that it was a build-up. Still waters run deep. That's what they say. And like Henry is someone who seems very level, very calm, but everybody has a boiling point.
Yeah.
And even on D-Day, when he was walking up, he was just like, I know my decision. I'm ready to say it. Basically, he's ready to bring an end to it. And like, don't let someone push you past your comfort zone. Like, if you felt that strongly that it was over, you could have walked away without getting to the point where you were so frustrated. You're just gonna, act in ways that you don't need to.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Now it's the end of the show. People on the show are really seeing how the public is reacting to them. And I don't know if maybe he has reacted to the way that some people have talked about him and his personality and this and that. Maybe they thought he was a pushover and he felt that he had to come out strong and show that, he's not and he can stand up for himself. Maybe that's what kind of did it. But like we said, like we've said and we've been saying for the past couple of weeks, Christina has obviously gone through a lot in her life. There's no point in kicking a dog when it's down.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that. I think, it was. He just went a little bit too far. He was entitled to defend himself and explain that it should have never that what Christina was doing was wrong. But the moment he went on to discuss the fact that, she's been in a 5-year relationship and it was just a little bit too much information that didn't need to come out. And I personally think it was a little bit petty. And then I think it was almost destructive as well, because, this, as much as I don't like what Christina's done with the whole speaking about him being gay and stuff like that, this is where I guess they say, you got to rise above it, because I think she's now been she's been embarrassed in a certain way, which I don't think needed to happen. Personally, I just don't think we need to have that information. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but I mean, obviously, I don't think any of us were surprised they didn't break up.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. Like I remember thinking last week after they had that final date, and she was like, "Oh, it changed everything for me." I was kind of fearful that she was gonna say yes and embarrass herself, because I'm like, this guy is going to say a hard no, Christina. So you need to not. So I'm glad that she said no, that she wanted to walk away. And I think out of all the couples, these two just weren't suited. I just didn't think they were suited. They weren't suited, and it hadn't been working for a very long time.
Yeah, I think that he is a very meticulous guy. As I said last week, the way my man folds his shirts and packs his bags, he wants things in order, and I think he wants to see things finished. So I think he said no weeks ago in his head and heart, but it was I've committed to this show and I'm going to see it through. I don't think he would have done a Brett move and cleared out the pantry. Brett cleared out the pantry. He wouldn't have done that. He needed to see the whole thing done, dusted, and finished to say, I've done that. And the no could have come softer. It could have, because we knew from a long time that he weren't going to go for this.
Yeah. And I have a problem with people. Oh, man, this just makes me think about certain situations I've experienced recently. But I have a problem with people who don't want to be upfront with you on a one-to-one when they have the opportunity to, and they wait until either you come to them or there's a public forum and that's when they want to start airing things. Because I'm just like, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
If you've been upset, like, he obviously downplayed to her how angry he was about her accusing him of being gay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about the fact of him being gay. I think it was more so like just the disrespect, not being able to find the message. He's obviously signed up to be married. He's talked about his ex-girlfriend. Like, there was no indicators that he was gay, apart from the fact that if we think about what society has told us about what someone looks like if they're stereotypically gay, that there's a guy who's not alpha male or strong, or there's someone who is, you know, probably a bit more effeminate and delicate or sensitive in a way that they come across. But obviously we know that doesn't mean that you're gay. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing, and that's what he said. Sometimes people think I'm gay because his manner is quite calm. But I think he held back on telling her how angry he was about it. And then he waited until D-Day, first of all, to blow up about it. And then on the reunion show, and I'm just like, you don't do that, Henry. You've been living with her. Mm-hmm. Like, if you have a problem, you say it. You don't let resentment build and then let it all fly out. And I can't respect that in Henry, because as Juanita said, I thought he was better than that.
Yeah, I did. Oh. So if it's just me and you. We can continue.
Well, the person that I really wanted to talk about while Kojo comes back. So yeah. Well, if I don't know if we had anything else to say about Henry and Christina, but what did you think about my man Bennett getting a tattoo?
Listen, I was scared that the man was gonna pull down his trousers and reveal his gems. I was nervous. I said, this can't go on primetime TV, and my children could walk in the room. So I wasn't sure what he was going to do. And it wasn't even, the tattoo weren't even well done. They said it was done with the old time method. So he would have been in a bit of pain with that. It was a risky move. That's what I thought it was. It was a risky move because I was thinking, I don't know if the media is going to say, yeah, it was the riskiest move ever. Maybe you could change the L into an 8. I don't know. Because I just thought, what if she
living
says
in
no?
the Garden of Eden, people? Why am I letting my friend do some little tattoo on my skin? I'm gonna go to some professional person.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, because when I
in
saw
COVID
it,
time, Bridget.
Exactly. When I saw it, I was just like, it looks like that's drawn on, and I don't mean in like a professional way.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, my friend did it. I don't know what Bennett is up to. And for a woman that says she's on the show because she just wanted to be on reality TV and she had no intention of getting married, I'm like, Bennett, that was not a smart
That
decision.
was a risky move. I think Bennett did that to say, well,
think about
let me go first. You can't go nowhere now because you're on my behind. You get me? I think he used it. I think he used it to say, you're on my behind. You're going to have to stay now. Because who's going to say no after you go and tattoo yourself?
I'd be scared. I'd be scared if a guy tattooed his name on me after about 4 months. I don't care. I'd be like, that's a bit intense. Even now, I would never tattoo my husband's name on me. I'm like, nope. I'm not doing that.
I would be sketching all day long. Like, how can we work this into another pattern?
Exactly.
Like we don't last.
Exactly. He loves butterflies. It's a butterfly. He likes this. This is his favorite Bible verse.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not putting your name on my body like I'm some sort of animal that's branded with you. No, I'm not doing it. And I agree with Anicia. It looked infected. When he showed that, I'm like, why? No.
I said it's COVID time. The COVID lick his behind, man.
Like, honestly, I don't know, but I'm glad that those two seem to be in a good place. I'm glad that they're moving across state lines has worked out for them, and they seem to be finding a rhythm. Like, we obviously all thought that, was it Amelia liked Bennett? Like, they're obviously two weird parts of a coin that have found each other. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that, it seems like she's in it for the long haul.
Yeah, I think so. I like the fact that he also got a job in Virginia, because I thought he was just going to be sitting down writing plays.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was a bit nervous for him. But when I heard that he got a little gig in Virginia, I thought, all right, you're keeping busy, bruv. You're good.
You can go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought.
Mm.
What
I
do
was
you
a little
think?
bit shook off by the tattoo. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Would you ever do it,
It
Kojo?
was a bit too much for me.
Would you do it?
Too much too soon. Because unless it, well, then again, they might have discussed this before they got to D-Day. So this might have been something they discussed beforehand. So maybe I'm kind of presumptuous in that sense, but looking at it going, it can almost be an emotional manipulation. If you've not discussed this and you
Yeah.
get to D-Day, a man's got a tattoo
That's
of you,
true.
You have to say
like
yes.
he said, it's like, where do I go? Like, he's got a tattoo of me, how can I leave, kind of thing. So if they discussed it, then it's not a problem. If they haven't discussed it, it could have been an emotional manipulation. So if anybody's been in that situation, guys, it can be an emotional manipulation to get someone to stay. It's just,
Yeah, I thought so.
But I liked it. You probably should
didn't
just
like
do
the
it, like you said,
tattoo.
Sophie. Just get a proper tattooist.
Ladies and gentlemen, if they're gonna do it, make sure you get them together. I'm not jumping into that pool of tattoo by myself. We're
Yeah.
going together.
We're
to
going
get
together.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Because that's how Nick Cannon got caught out here. Do you remember when Nick Cannon got married to Mariah Carey and he got Mariah put on the back of his back like this big,
Oh, I didn't know
right
that.
across the top of his back, and she said, "Oh, she had like Mrs. Cannon put in like a tiny butterfly." And when they broke up, he's gonna have that thing covered up now because it's like he's moved on, he's got a new family. It's very awkward. Tattoos are for life, people.
Yeah.
Tattoos
I mean,
are for life.
I mean, to be fair, so is marriage. So I wouldn't mind, one on my ring finger, for example. I wouldn't mind putting, my husband's initials there. But I feel that because this is attached to a show and cameras, and she has already said, I wanted to be on this because I wanted to be in the limelight because I rhymed die. I'm like, I don't know if this is real yet. So that's why I don't mind the tattoo. I just feel like it's premature. And I do feel like, Kojo, that it was a way of saying, you know what, I'm stuck to you now. Look, it's on me. And therefore you're obligated to say yes. That's why he went first, I think. Because imagine pulling down your pants and showing the tattoo after the woman said no. He couldn't do that. Nobody would know he had a tattoo if she said no.
Embarrassment.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah.
It was a lot.
Literally.
It would have been embarrassing. It would have been too much.
Embarrassing.
Oh, gracious. Embarrassing, honestly. And obviously, well, we got in D-Day, we had a little bit of Brett and Olivia. And I thought it was quite interesting, to be honest, watching these two. Because I think, do you know what? The end was just like the whole show itself.
Yeah.
I'm neither on Olivia's side, neither on Brett's side. Olivia at the time was, I thought on D-Day, I thought, oh, Olivia, I hear your point. And then she went too far. She's stalking him. I'm not like, hey, relax, leave him. You know what I mean? You're stalking him now. Like, and at the same time, like, Brett, you do too much. You're not understanding the point. So I don't know. What did you guys think of Brett Olivia D-Day? What did you guys think?
Go on, Soph.
I was just going to say, them being broken up before D-Day didn't seem to do anything in dulling her feelings towards him. Like, her level of anger on D-Day was a bit surprising for me because I'm like, you guys broke up, like, okay, and I understand it. It seemed like it was very raw to her still, which I thought was surprising. And Brett is a douche. Like, Brett's an ass. So you knew what sort of energy he was going to come with, and like, oh yeah, I'm sad it didn't work and this and that. But she really lets it rile her. And I loved when Pastor Calvin just came in and was like, you know what, Olivia, nothing that he says is going to be what you want to hear, it seems like. And you need to kind of realize that, like, you're asking him for answers, but you're not liking the answers that he's giving. And she just needs to be happy she's not married to that, because you do get that in marriage sometimes. Like, sometimes, unfortunately, the answer that you get is not the one that you want. And you're just like, what you want to hear? It's like, that's not what I want to hear. It's the truth. So where do we go from here? And I think she just needs to just really let it go. I think and it's funny. she put up all these walls so that she wouldn't get hurt, but yet Brett's moving on with her life and she's sitting there hurt still.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, I think with Olivia, she hadn't let it go yet. That she's still in that place alone. It was a massive rejection, a rejection in front of millions watching. Do you know what I mean? Till the man cleared out every last seasoning in the cupboard. He had nothing to cook with, nothing to give the cats. So I feel that the rejection was real for her, that she still carries that. She came in looking great. And I feel that if she had said, let's hook up tonight, he would have been all right for it. It's like he doesn't wear his feelings the same as her. So you can see the way she's processed this and the way he has is totally different. And hers, you could see the hurt in it. You abandoned me, you left me, you embarrassed me. All of that is still there. And I don't think that fades easy. I think that will last a while with her. And it even lasted into the reunion show because she cut him down like to size, you know what I mean, on the show till I thought he was going to walk off and turn off the camera. Do you know what I mean? So that's what we can do nowadays. But yeah, I feel that she did, by the end of the show, what we had said before, she wanted somebody she could mold into who she wanted them to be. She might as well just go and get a blow-up doll and go traveling with him because that's what she needs. And
that's what
I think.
I think it's really tough because I think we really saw towards the end of the series, that Olivia really wanted love. She really wanted someone to love and to come home to. And I think the really sad thing is that I think losing Brett, or not losing Brett, things ending with Brett, I think she's obviously happy about that in general sense because he's not the guy for her. But I think with her losing Brett, she's also lost the idea of what she wanted. She feels this idea, this person that she thought she was going to love. I think she genuinely believes that she went all in, which I don't think that she did emotionally, but she really put herself out there for Olivia. And to get the rejection that she got back, I think it has really, really hurt her, as it would anybody. But Brett's a douche. I don't know what to say. Like, you're just gonna have to be like, he's a douche, and just not rise to it.
Yeah, because it's tough though, man.
It is, and I think we've all been there.
Yeah,
younger, but where you're attacking somebody and you're just saying, oh, and this and this and this and this, not realizing that you come off as the person who's more hurt. You're like, you're the one who's actually got a bigger issue, not that person. And that's what's everybody. So she thinks she's cutting down Brett, but all she's doing is revealing about herself that she is still very hurt by him.
Yeah. And I feel that it's okay for her to still be hurt, to have the feelings of hurt by Brett, but it's the way it comes out. It's like, even though he can give the best answer possible, and it's still not good enough because she's not listening anymore. She just wants to vent. You hurt me, and I'm still hurt. I can imagine if we had the camera on Olivia now and had a reunion of a reunion, that the issues would still come out. I think it would be to be here for a while till she gets the next partner, and then even then, part of that hurt is going to be worked out in the beginning of that new relationship. Yeah, I think so.
And especially when you like someone, everybody wants. Let's be honest. If we're being really honest, we want to be the first one to move on.
Yeah.
When it's someone you care about, you want to be the first one posting that picture of Bae, new Bae, on vacation. Oh, he's so good. Never been treated like this before.
Yeah.
Like you want to be that person. And Brett, as someone was saying, like, he's saying he was trying it on with her friends.
Yeah.
He's on the dating apps. He's doing this, he's doing that. And it's this ugly reminder. And I'm going to be very honest. It's this ugly reminder that men still have so many more options open to them as they get older. Women, we don't. And it's just a fact. The older you get as a woman, like, men, like, and I was talking about with my husband, it's like a guy passes the age of like 30, 35, and they can go for people in their own age group and lower. But for women, that's not really the case. By the time we get to 35, if I broke up with my husband, I would probably, the men that look at me now, well, I'm not even 30, I'm not even in my mid 30s yet, like still my early 30s, but the men that look at me now are like men in their 40s, are looking at me as this young thing to them. But then the men who are like my age are looking at women who are a bit younger.
Yeah.
So I think all of this also compounds her feeling of being hurt, that Brett is going to very easily move on. Whether he'll find love, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he can move on, and she is still here single, not finding anybody to be with.
Yeah, I think you're right. Definitely, 100%.
But I agree with God Loves Couture.
Do
I would have
you
wanted
think
to take
that
the L better.
Mm.
do you guys think that when Brett did the whole, because she said that he went and swiped like, what was it on, I don't know what thing it is, dating app, he went and swiped all her friends. Do you think that was a bit of a power move?
Yes.
To kind
Brett is
of
a
get back
douche.
at Olivia.
100%.
It's a Brett move. It's a Brett move. Straight.
Yes.
I wasn't shocked when I heard that. You're lucky you never swiped mum. Do you know what I mean? I think he would have just gone and just swiped everybody in the neighborhood just because it's a Brett move. From the beginning though, you could see Brett's moves from that bachelor party. He would he's scoping the whole room. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't shocked at all.
And it's like his friend said on the show just before the reunion show, he was just like, I've had issues with Brett and his personality and the fact that he doesn't want to change and he just is a certain way. And, you know, that's affecting my relationship with him. Like Brett, and when we heard that, it was like Brett was not ready for marriage. I don't know what he was doing on this show. He said already that he likes to reject girls because that makes him feel good.
Wow.
So he's a child. He's a child.
Yeah.
And he's not going to find any sort of decent woman because it's just, he's not ready. He's just a fool. Like, and that's the thing, you know, the Bible will talk about, you just got to leave fools, like a fool is just going to reveal themselves. So she doesn't need to be on there shouting him down. It's very clear who Brett is.
Leave him
I
to
just
it.
have no time for it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, leave him to it.
I would have been like, whatever, innit? Whatever.
Yeah. Kojo, is he frozen or is he contemplating?
I'm not sure. But what about Woody and Amani?
Oh, Woody, come on, Kojo. You got to come back and move for this because you've been in that position of contemplation for too long. Woody and Amani, you know, they made she made my heart rock in my chest. Because when I saw that little clip, I said, girl, you did not ask for a divorce. And I was so convinced that's what she had done that I was like, I thought we had to wait till next week to see the reunion. I didn't realize it was out straight away. So I saw I found out like a couple hours later that it was there. And I was like, I need to watch this thing to see what's going on. So she did have my heart racing. I suppose she had everybody's heart racing because she was so convincing with her. I want a divorce. I was like, what? Look at this man. This is a good man for you. But I was moved by Woody, man. I think I underestimated Woody from the get. I just said, this brother ain't serious. Back in the day, we used to call them people Gallus. You know what I mean? He's doing it. He's being around the world and and this guy ain't settling down. He's just here with his friends for a joke. And when this brother came out and his voice is cracking and he's confessing his love and he's meeting with his granny before that and saying, I want a love like yours. I said, the prize, she got it. You know what I mean? I was so pleased. I was so proud of him. And so for me, that was such an example of beautiful black love.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
beautiful black love, healthy black love. Do you know what I mean? It's like, who is that rapper? Well, I can't remember his name. He's a rapper and he got married live on, well, a few of them do. He got married live on TV and Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane. He
Oh,
got married, and
yeah.
he came out with a Instagram post or a Twitter, an Instagram or Twitter, some social media post. I think it was earlier this year, talking about what women aren't these days is ride or die. And he was just like, his wife is ride or die. She's been with broke Gucci, cheating Gucci, angry Gucci, angry Gucci, on drugs Gucci, no money Gucci, and people just like, why are we out here promoting that a woman needs to be sticking with you when you're treating her all sorts of bad? Like, that is not ride or die. That they're like, you are actually putting her through abuse by saying that women should stick around through cheating, through this, through that, through all your issues, just to prove to you that they're really there for you. And that's why I love that Woody and Armani were showing a type of love where it's two people being available to each other, treating each other well, loving each other, respecting each other, and that's what has made their love work. So I just, all the love, all the props to them too. Just just so happy that what we saw building in their relationship just didn't fade. Because with Woody's friends saying like, oh, usually, you know, he's not like this, he's had a few girlfriends and etc. etc. It was really nice to see that for him, he was actually looking for a wife. And I think it was really important what you said in the fact that he had seen an example of it before. He lived with his grandmother. He saw healthy love. He saw people working it out. He saw a commitment. And I think that's part of the reason why he was like, I found something good. I'm gonna stick with this.
I'm gonna stick with it. I you know what I rated? That he was so transparent with his feelings. He was open and he said what was on his heart. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes we struggle with that without the cameras. Do you know what I mean? We struggle with opening ourselves and being so vulnerable. And he was totally bare. He was naked, he was open, he was vulnerable, and he was talking about his thoughts and feelings and how deeply he loved this woman. And for me, it just showed such a great example to men and to Black men that it's okay to do this. Yeah. It's okay to get the words out while she can hear it. Do you know what I mean? Get them words out, say those nice things. You would be surprised what you will get out of your wife when you go to those levels. And I think it was an amazing example.
Yeah, and I think especially, and Armani created a safe space for him to be able to really talk about those things. That there was never a time when he was sharing or was vulnerable and she was like, I haven't got time, or I think that's a bit weak, or like, I just want a strong man. She was always listening and giving him the time and attention, so he felt like I can talk about my insecurities. And we all have them. We all have things that we're sensitive about, or things that might have happened with our upbringing, or we all have something, and we're all looking for somebody that's just going to accept us and make us feel loved regardless. And I think those two were just such a good and consistent example of that.
I totally agree with you. But what he did do again, he scared me then on the show.
On the reunion show.
With those silly edits when it's like, when he goes, I've got something to tell you, and the brother is sweating buckets. You get me? Sweating so hard that the shirt was see-through. I was like, he's got 5 kids somewhere. He's got someone else. My head was doing too much. So when I found out that he was pulling out the ring, oh man, he got me. Tears.
It's just a lovely touch. And she's just like, well, I tried to change my name during lockdown, but it was just, I just love this too. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they said that they're living down the road from Mars and Karen, right?
It was 100 steps, so it was like 2 houses away. But they don't, thank God, they don't see each other often. They said maybe twice a week, which is good. We can manage that.
I love that, because like them two were boys. Them two were boys. And I think Kojo's got a question. I'm not sure if he can connect with us, but he's saying, why do we call it Black love and not love? Good question.
Do you know, I got that, the Black love thing, Woody kept saying it, so it stuck in my head. And then I think it's something that should be distinguished, because we don't often see portrayals of Black people in love. And so I think there has to be a distinction to say, this is what Black love looks like. This is how we do Black love. We look at our grandparents and see great relationships. Sometimes our parents, that middle generation, didn't quite cut it, but we have the elders to go to rely on for an example. Sometimes Black love looks like, I'm going to kiss your lips with an open mouth right on telly, or, you know what I mean? Or drop some honey on your neck. Maybe somebody of a different hue wouldn't express love like that. Cooking for you might not be an expression of love in another culture. So I feel that there are distinctions in Black love. Black love also involves an extension of a family members, friends, do you know what I mean? All rooting for you and supporting you. And because I'm Black, that's all I know. So I know how it looks in my community. And the other communities who express love, I see that on TV, and it doesn't represent the way I understand love. So it's Black love.
Yeah, and I think I agree with everything you said, Vanita. And I'd probably just talk a little bit more about the fact that we don't see it represented. And I can't remember who I saw talking. It's like one of those iconic Black actors. I can't remember if it was Denzel Washington or Morgan Freeman, but someone was talking about this idea. We grew up in a generation where the people that we had to look up to were pimps and drug dealers. They're like, that was all that was represented in the media. Like, that's what we saw. When it was Black people, they were criminals, they were pimps, they were drug dealers, and that built into their idea of what a strong Black man looks like. And I think that now we're getting to a place where we're like, no, that's not the only thing that we are, or we're not just a sassy friend, or we're not just a sexually overt person, we're not just that. We're actually people who can have healthy love and healthy relationships, and we're going to tell you that this is what it looks like. This is Black love. If you misunderstand what we can have as Black people, this is what it looks like. And I think it's important for generations coming up as well to aspire to healthy relationships. And I think that's why it's so important.
It looks like AB says, because it's Black, beautiful, and we love each other, stronger. Black love.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, I think Kojo said as well, what are the great takeaways we can have from Woody and Amani? For me, create a space to be vulnerable. People always want to look at, any marriage that's doing well, Woody and Amani, anyone else in society that you look up to, your friends or whatever, they are only that way because they're able to be vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
But that's the only way you're gonna have this really happy, positive, grass is greener love where you're watering it, is because you're able to go there emotionally with your partner. And that's the thing that I would say that was just so wonderful about these two from the jump.
I would add to what you're saying. Yes, vulnerability is important, very important. They found a safe space and they open themselves to each other, and that's where you create deeper intimacy. But I would also say you could see the friendship they had. They were building a friendship. When certain things was going down with other people, they gave that look across the room. And I love doing that with Kurt, when it's like something's going down, you can just give each other the little glance and have a little laugh, and no one knows you're laughing. Do you get me? It's like you building like with intimacy, you're also building a friendship, and with friendship comes trust. And you were right. She did listen. She did give him that space and that time to talk about his fears, to talk about his hopes, to talk about his dreams. And that is one thing that I can take away from, four things that I can take away from that couple.
And I think Kojo's now asking, what is our greatest or most memorable moment on the show? And I think, honestly, something that happened between Woody and Amani for me, when he was saying he just wants to feel like he's not sure if he's always going to be that guy. And she was just like, you are enough and you will always be enough. Never doubt yourself. And when I saw that, I was just like, Jesus. Like, that is, like, to me, that are the times when I have felt most seen by my husband, when he can talk to my fears that I have, all the things that I have, and he's just there to just give me the encouragement that I need to be like, this is how I see you. Like, never doubt yourself. Like, the world is going to doubt you, especially as Woody is a black man, us as black women. The world is going to tell you that you're not enough, but he knows that he's got someone who is always going to be in his corner. And for me, when I saw that, I'm just like, I don't know what anyone else on this show is doing, but these two have the real deal. So for me, that was like one of my favorite moments from the show.
I think one of my favorite moments with those two was when he was coloring and he was just open. He was just talking to her. And she was on the same level there, but I think he was confident to know, if I remain consistent, we will be on par. We will be on a level. I think he saw that you're scared of doing this, but so am I. And then the way he just he would lean over and kiss her, I was just like, mate, where's my husband? It was just too much. It was just too hot. And I just thought, yeah, that's all right. So yeah, the way he saw her level, I know he was a bit hurt at one time, but then you could see he settled and thought, don't worry, you'll catch up. If I remain consistent, you will catch up with me. So yeah, that was my favorite in seeing that. Yeah.
And I think that's what it taught me as well about, in terms of one of the great takeaways from Woody and Amani, is that you need to go into marriage as whole as you possibly can. No one is whole. Nobody is. But you could see where he had talked about, his relationship with his dad, and she was like,
did the work.
Exactly. He was like, is that still an issue? He was like, if I hadn't sorted that, I wouldn't be able to be married. No. And that kind of self-awareness that he had was like, I had to go and work on some stuff, on my anger and this and that, in order for me to be a better man, a man that was actually ready to move forward in this relationship. And there were so many people on the show who had a bag of drama, trauma, hurt, pain from their life that they had not worked on, but they thought that they were ready to get married and they weren't. So I really loved that. And I guess I've got to say, one of my greatest moments from the show, which it probably shouldn't have been, was Brett stealing all the food and leaving.
The damn pantry, Brett.
Just like, Brett, you took everything, Brett.
From the damn pantry.
And she's like, what? But you left your cup?
Everything.
He cleaned it out, man.
This guy is raw. It's a pandemic. He's gonna come back to an empty house. Like, come on.
The shops are
that
closed.
Made me laugh. Honestly, I was just like, that is cold-blooded. So too much. Okay, so Kojo's put something up, which is gonna be wrapping up our last question of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, it's sad that we're coming to the end of our Married at First Sight.
And I really wanted to hear Kojo's feedback on this. I know we've got some technical issues the whole way and we've been soldiering it through, but I wanted to be back and forth with you, bruv, with us, on this thing. You get me? We might have to do a reunion of the reunion.
I know.
If there's any quick comments you want to put in there,
don't worry.
Yeah.
The reunion.
Of the reunion.
But Kojo's saying, who do you look forward most to catching up with in a year's time for the show, and why?
Ooh, it would have to be Amani and Woody. I want to see if they got the dog yet. I ain't interested that much in pets. I just want to see if they're
But the thing is, if the dog comes and the baby
then the
comes,
baby comes,
remember, it's a package deal. So
yeah, that's it.
I'll be
so
interested to see that.
When the dog comes, the baby comes. But I really just, I'm rooting for them. I'm like, guys, our strap line for This Is Marriage is love never fails. Stay the course. And if I could send a smoke signal to them, I would be like, stay the course, man. Don't let the hype get you. And when the hype dies down, you know what I mean? You get fed up because you're going to see stuff you're not going to like. But stay the course, man. You can work through it. You've been given the tools. You could do some more on the way. But go and sit with Granny and find it out. Go and sit with trusted people and find it out. But stay the course. So I want to see those two. I want to also see Karen and Miles. See how they've developed, and I do have hopes for both of them that they'll be together. Those two are my favorites. To find out what happens in a year for them, I'd love to do that.
You know what? I would say exactly the same as well. I think definitely Miles and Karen will, because I think for Amani and Woody, not only do I think that they've had what it takes from the beginning. Amani's parents are still together. Woody's grandmother's still together with her husband. So I think that adds a different dynamic to a marriage when you see other people in successful marriages.
Yeah.
And then you have people to go to when, and I would say when things get difficult and when certain things come up that you can't deal with, you've got people who are going to say, this is going to pass. Okay. It's going to pass. Stick with it.
Stick
Work
with
through
it.
it. Whereas obviously we know that, Karen and Mars, Karen's mom, we're not really sure if she's with her dad still. There's some situation going on there. Karen was very defensive. She doesn't really trust men. So it might be a bit more difficult for them to navigate it without thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't be here. Maybe this is a sign that I shouldn't be married. And I remember seeing a pastor say that once at my church. He was just like, you get married and you're with your wife and you're just like, something. He was like, you will be like, did I marry the right person? Because this is a madness. And I'm just like, I was like newly married. I'm like,
don't say that.
Like, but I was just kind of like, there are certain things you're just kind of like, this person is what have I got myself
somebody else?
Exactly. Like there are things that can happen. You can really push each other to the limit.
Yeah, to the limit.
And so for me, when those times come and you're doubting, and then you have to, and I think one woman said to me, so I went, what do you do when doubts come? And I remember I said when I was engaged, because I'm like, oh my days, I'm going to sign up to be with someone for the rest of my life. She was like, you say no to that and you don't entertain thoughts, because it's very easy to dwell on it. And then you're in a rolling thing where you're just kind of like, I know it. She was like, don't entertain the thoughts. And I think for Miles and Karen, I want to be really interested if they haven't entertained the thoughts.
Yeah.
Because she entertained them so much in the beginning, I think it would be easier for her in a year's time to be like, this isn't working. So I really want to see that. And I want to see Olivia. And see if she's found somebody. Because she's someone who I think really wants to be with someone, and I really hope that she hope that she does.
I'll put my money on that.
Hopefully she'll find someone.
Yeah, I hope so. But it seems like we've come to the end of today's show. It seems like we've come to the end of today's show. Oh, I'm so, it's bittersweet. I'm sad to be not talking about Married at First Sight.
I know.
But I'm glad that we got 3 successful marriages. More than half of the people are successful. So we can't ask for any more than that. We are definitely going to be looking at next year when they do this again, because it is so entertaining, the journey that people have been on. But we do have in the pipeline, I think, another show, another review that we're going to have coming up for you guys, which is fire.
Hey!
Honestly, I watched 1 episode of this show. What's it called again? Someone remind me. What's the show called?
Is it Put a Ring on It?
Put a Ring on It. If you have not been watching Put a Ring on It, for sure you need to tune in. It's online. It's on OWN's channel by Oprah Winfrey. And it's people, I think it's 3 couples.
Four
couples.
Yeah.
4 couples who have been together for a certain amount of years, and they don't know whether they should get married or not. There's somebody who is reluctant to get married. Now, when I first saw the trailer, I remember saying to Kojo, I don't even think there's a show here, because if someone doesn't want to get married, don't get married.
Show done.
But watching the show, it's actually a lot of different dynamics going on as to why people have not decided yet. So we're going to be talking about that show. Make sure that you watch it so that you can watch online with us and join in the conversation as you have. And I guess we're going to end with letting people say their leaving comments. So I'll let you go. I'll let you go, Juanita.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the fact that we have pushed through technical difficulties and we have missed Kojo's voice in this conversation. But he's been so innovative in talking in the chat that we've still managed to get the same gems out of the conversation. So thank you for bearing with us. We're really grateful for that. And I hope you stick with us for future chats. We are this, even though it's just me, but we are This Is Marriage UK, and we talk about everything from singleness to marriage to divorce and how to navigate relationships through life. We all have relationships. We all go through relationships. We all have relationships, from parents to work colleagues. And it's how do you value these relationships, and how do they produce and become a part of you and the making of you. So join us on This Is Marriage UK on Instagram. and on YouTube as well. Would love to have you. We got space. We got space. We got space.
Great. And I am Sophie Hannah. So that is my handle on YouTube, on Instagram. I am Sophie Hannah, and I'm someone who's creating content. So on YouTube, I'm on a weekly show called Ethnically Speaking, where we talk about various issues that affect the Black British community. So please join in. And then I'm also doing interviews with ethnic minority women, film reviews. So check me out on Instagram, trying to get my numbers up, hit 1,000 followers this year on Instagram, hit 200 subscribers. You guys on these live panels have really been showing me so much love and so much support on my different channels. I want to thank you so much. I want to thank Kojo for the opportunity and being on here. He's such a light, and he is so wonderful to work with. Honestly, just the nicest guy, as with Juanita and Curtis. Love them all. But I think we're coming to the end of the show. We thank you so much for supporting us. And make sure you join in and watch the episode of Put a Ring on It, because guys, we are only just getting started.
So say something about Little Black Book, that they need to stay subscribed.
So make sure also, like, I just take it for granted that you're already following Little Black Book, but we're talking about Kojo. He has some of the best content. He is so consistent with his content. Every single day he's putting up new reviews, new talks about shows. Make sure that you're tuned into him on Little Black Book. You can follow him on social media, on Instagram. You can also follow him on YouTube. So make sure you look up Little Black Book. This live stream is live on his channel. So make sure you're also pressing that like button, that subscribe button. Make sure that you're sharing it. And he talks about things very much from a Christian perspective as well. And I really love that in the 21st century, we have